Good day, everybody. Welcome back to Fides Trading Channel. Today, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be switching out the normal analysis. So instead of doing indices, gold, and currencies, I am just going to be doing indices and gold today. The reason for this is I noticed the currency markets are currently in a bit of a consolidative phase. There's not a lot of momentum stepping in. And until we have certainty as to the directionality and to the future vision of what's going to come out of these countries, I think it's best that I hone in my focus and start looking at the indices in a lot more of an in-depth scale. And I will be providing periodic foreign currency updates. So without further ado, let's get into the analysis. We are starting with Nas100 first and foremost, as always. So what can we observe on the 4-hour chart? So resistance was tapped at 19,000, and that is where I actually closed my long position. And after that, price actually fell. We've broken past the bullish trend line that we originally had intact, and we are currently in a bit of a consolidative phase there per the 4-hour. Price is trading above the 50 SMA at the moment, and we are in the bullish territory of the RSI. So all in all, confluences point towards the bulls still having control of this market from a 4-hour perspective. Now we can also observe some structure being created here, support at 18,500. However, if we go into the lower charts, I just want to note that despite having the support at 18,500, we have a gap here which needs to be filled. So my opinion of this market is that it does need to drop, fill said gap, find some support before pushing up, or it could fall all the way down back to the support of 17,580. And I'm just going to extend that line a little. Okay. So on the 1-hour chart, we can see price trading above the 50 SMA at the moment. And on the RSI, we are in that sweet spot right now. Price tapped the 50 SMA before a bounce to the upside, despite the bearish nature of the short-term trend. And looking at the way the charts are structured right now, price being above 50 SMA, I would like to say I'm looking for longs. However, if you come into 15-minute, we are trading very much upon that 50 SMA at the moment, with RSI kind of bouncing quite far between our level of retracement. So that being said, because there's no correlation between the 1-hour and the 15-minute at the moment, I'm very much just going to stay out of this market. Like I say, when I trade, for example, yesterday we had a correlation between the 1-hour and the 15-minute. We had bullish confluences on the 1-hour. We could see our signals, and then on the 15-minute, that was just a confirmation. And today it is very much the opposite. Price is trading close to the 50 SMA. We have broken above it right now. We are above it on the 1-hour chart, but we need further confirmation that the bulls have taken control and we are going to the upside and not actually going down to fill that gap. So the gap does concern me. For the moment, I'm actually just going to take a step back and just observe how the market plays out before I look for entries on the 5-minute time frame. Also noting that I would like to find areas of consolidation like this particular zone here on the 15-minute, areas where price is just ranging between that we have two solid touches both on support and resistance and a clean breakout and confirmation from which I can trade, which is also aligned with the confluences coming out of the higher time frame. So that is Nas100. Let us go into US30. US30, we are trading between 37,880 and 40,850. Now, price was making significant bullish moves, and then we tapped into that 50 SMA. Price went above and then broke back below. So from a 4-hour perspective, we have indecision for the most part. The reason why I say indecision is that we were making bullish strides, we broke above, and now we're trading upon the 50 SMA. We are in the sweet spot of the RSI, and we don't really have clean structure to trade with here on the 4-hour. So the 4-hour clearly doesn't have a lot of market directionality. We could go in either direction right now. So from that perspective, I'm going to drop into the 1-hour and see what we can observe. On the 1-hour, we can see price is currently tapping into that 50 SMA. We are in the sweet spot of the RSI. We've broken bullish structure here after breaking this bullish trend line, but we haven't formed solid bearish structure. So we have indecision on the 1-hour too. So indecision on the 4-hour, indecision on the 1-hour, we clearly don't have a trend to trade with. Now, if I do not have a structure or directionality bias, market directionality bias on the 1-hour, there isn't going to be much to convince me to go and look into the 15-minute and actually start mapping out opportunities. I mean, as we can see here, price is tapping that 50 SMA. We're breaking in and out of the sweet spot of the RSI. Not a lot of market structure. We can see we had some bearish market structure. We've broken above that. It's currently being tested. So yeah, right now, market directionality not being as stable, not giving me as much signal as I would like. It is very easy for me just to stay out of this market and await my confluences, wait for my time frames to actually align, actually see solid directionality from either the 1-hour or the 4-hour time frame, from which I can then make a more calculated entry into the space. Looking at gold, so gold, interesting one. Let's go into the 4-hour first and foremost. Gold had a deep retracement, and then upon hitting the 50 SMA, price turned around. We did go below the sweet spot before turning around, which is okay. So I didn't really get an entry there. However, with price having bullish confluences on the 4-hour, as you can see, the bulls are continuing, bullish structure is still intact. The 1-hour time frame still indicates the bears are in control. Reason why? We are trading below the 50 SMA at the moment. We're in the sweet spot of the RSI, and bullish structure has not yet overtaken bearish structure with clarity. Right now, it's just being tested. We can observe the previous lower high, lower low right here. Price is currently testing said level. So right there. Price is currently forming that consolidator phase here at the bottom, which we can better observe on the 15-minute. Let's just go into that time frame. So I'm just going to delete this quickly. Price is currently in that consolidator phase on the 15-minute. Broke out, broke back in. We look like we may have a bullish entry right here. If I get a push off this level, I would be more than happy to take it, because what I can see is that price broke out off that lower high structure, came back, retested it, and is now going to push higher. So I would be looking for a long position there, but also being cognizant of the fact we are approaching the 50 SMA on the 1-hour. But with the 4-hour time frame being bullish, I'm more confident to take it based on the bias of the 4-hour time frame. So that is very much the analysis today, short and sweet. That's what I want to do. I think the idea for these videos is I want to make them a lot shorter so they're a little bit more engaging, provide you with the detail that you want to see instead of just being a very broad stroke analysis. I will still be analyzing currencies, but that will be done on a separate video moving forward. Just before we go, let's take a look at some news that could potentially impact the markets. So fundamentals today, we can see unemployment claims. We got some USD orange folder news as well. So Not a lot that's going to really push the indices out of play. What I would also suggest is taking a look at some articles on FX Street and see what these articles are perhaps saying from a headline perspective, and going in depth and doing your own research as to investor bias towards its market directionality. But like we pointed out, from a technical perspective, we do not have a lot of directionality in US30 at the moment. And until we have confluence and correlations between timeframes, we are not trading with certainty. So best stay out the market, preserve your capital, and then trade once you see that opportunity come into play. So I hope you thoroughly enjoyed that video. I will also try and include some articles from FX Street in the analysis moving forward. And yeah, let me know what you think about the new structure, and I will catch you in the next video. Happy trading. Cheers, everybody.